Hey everybody, Jillian here, back with a new Bible journaling process video. Today I am doing my first entry in the Revival Camp New Testament Devotional Kit, and this Devo was written by Becca and is called 7 Miles with Jesus. So I'm going to flip to Luke 14 in the Illustrating Bible and go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do is use these 4 different color Neocolor II water-soluble wax pastels with a baby wipe to get color on the page. And I'm just going to fold the baby wipe up until it's like in a point almost, and then wipe it along the tip of the Neocolor so you can see all of that pigment there on the baby wipe. And I'm going to just pounce it on the page in 3 different places and continue with each color. I've learned that different brand baby wipes will give you different results. So for my actual baby, we use the Costco brand wipes for him, and so that's what I'm using here. But there's I think the Pampers Pure brand is very wet, and when you use that brand of baby wipe, the edges become a little bit softer. There seems to be more water in them, so you'll even have some like fun splatters if you try this technique with that brand. So it doesn't really matter which one you use. I've just noticed and was surprised by the different results you get with different brands. So the specific colors that I used will be linked down in the video description. But you can see I just am alternating color here and being sure to always apply it with a clean portion of the baby wipe. Alright, so I think that's good. I could keep going. It's really fun. I'm going to stop there. My hands are more wet than the paper. You can see there's no bleed through. There's a little bit of shadow because of the way my light is hitting it and because it's a little wet. But there's no bleed through. I'm just going to use my heat tool to help speed up the drying process, but it's not very wet. Like, I could skip this step. But I plan on using the stencil that comes with the New Testament Revival Camp Devotional Kit and this white Uniball Signo gel pen, so I wanted to make sure that it was perfectly dry before I tried to put this white ink over it. So for my second layer, I just wanted to take the white pen through the stencil, again in 3 places on my page. It's kind of faint, but that's really all I want. I just want another background layer. I found that with this pen too, the slower that you write, the better results you're going to get. And there we go. It's kind of hard to see on camera, so I'll lift my Bible up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start pulling things from the sticker sheet and put them to the side on this packaging so that I can just easily pick them up when I want to use them. So to start my title, I also have this grid washi tape from the Illustrated Faith shop and then an assortment of tabs in the colors that I used. And I found this one tab that I liked because it has this sentiment on there that says, "What a friend." And I thought that went so well with what I'm going to be journaling about. And then I just have some random paper pieces from my scrapbooking days. I've decided, totally inspired by Vanessa and Shanna and how they're layering all the things. So I looked through what I had to see what I could use for layering. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start stamping. So to build my title, which is going to say Journey with Jesus, I'm going to go ahead and start out by stamping the word journey. I don't get a great impression. That's okay. I'm going to go over it one more time, and I still don't get a great impression. If I had my Bible mat under here, it probably would have been fine, and you'll see that I'm going to grab that in a moment. So I'll go ahead and read to you part of Becca's devotional while I'm fidgeting around with this paper. She says in Luke 24:13-35, we join 2 of Jesus' disciples on a 7-mile walk. They're living in a world where their hopes and dreams are crushed. They followed Jesus for years, believing he was the one to save them, yet they just watched their rabbi, their teacher, and their friend be tortured and murdered. They saw the blood, they heard his final breaths. They felt hopelessness as the sky turned dark. The one they had pinned all their hopes and dreams on had died. So they walked. They left a town that held too many memories and broken dreams. As they traveled, they were joined by another man who seemed to know nothing about the current events. They told this traveler about Jesus and all they had hoped he was going to do. They told him their fears and their sorrow. And he walks with them. He listens to their hurts. He understands their pain. Then he starts explaining. He goes over prophecies and scriptures, things they would have known or heard, but certainly weren't remembering in this time of pain and hurt. He tells them why it all had to happen, and he walks with them. Becca goes on to say, often in life, when we're traveling a distance that feels never-ending, we get stuck in our emotions. We only see what's right in front of us. We want to walk with our heads down and get to our destination without getting hurt. But Jesus always shows up. He may not always tell us the answers or explain the reasons why, but he will always walk with us, every single one of those 7 miles, long and dusty as they might be. When these travelers arrive at their destination, the man reveals who he is. Their friend, their teacher, their Lord is alive. He was with them the whole time, even in their hurt. And I love this part, and this is what I want to focus on when I do get around to my journaling. She says, he didn't instantly take the pain away. He walked through it with them. She finishes up by saying, then they ran back the same 7 miles to tell their friends, but this time they were filled with hope. So I thought this paper piece that I'm going to add to the bottom that's yellow says, you make my heart happy, and that is certainly true of Jesus. So I'm going to layer up some paper pieces on the bottom here using my tiny attacher to stick them together. And then I decided to add a little bit more color down at the bottom. I was a little heavy-handed with it and was trying to blend it out, and it ends up kind of looking like a bruise down there. So I'll go in with some extra paper pieces to cover up what I just put down, so you only see a little bit of it peeking through. Then I wanted to bring in some dimensional things because everything was looking pretty flat. So I grabbed some yellow puffy crosses and put that by my tab along with some enamel hearts. And again, you can see that the colors of those embellishments match those that I used with the Neocolors. And then for my journaling lines, I decided to use this Journal Crush stamp set. It's from Illustrated Faith, but it is no longer in the shop. If that's something you are interested in seeing return to the shop, leave a comment below and I'd be happy to pass that along. And then I'm really just going to spend the rest of the video layering some paper pieces and stickers and fun things like that. I've been using this cardstock sticker sheet from the Carta Let's Travel line that coordinates with the paper pieces that we get in our devotional kits. And I love this little pair of sunglasses, and I wanted to put it somewhere. It's going to make its way down on the bottom because I want to bring some blue down there. And I'm just going to layer it behind this little date tag without covering up the sentiment on the yellow one. You can see I added a date stamp. And then the very last thing that I'm going to do is add some black watercolor paint splatters just to finish the whole thing off, fill in some of that white space down on the bottom. There we go. That looks much better. All right, there we go. And that's my page. We'd love to have you guys join us through the New Testament with the Revival Camp Devotional Kit. If you're interested in picking it up, I've got it linked down in the video description below. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.